The Podcasting Dead is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Make sure to subscribe for more podcasts. And while you're at it, drop us a like. If you want to help support the channel and have access to extra content, secret contests, and more, make sure to search for us on Patreon. Patreon.com/The Podcasting Dead.
All right, let's get it going. It's time to talk about the latest episode of Fear the Walking Dead. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead. If I sound a little different, it's because I'm recording from my home studio this morning while JP is in the actual studio. So that's probably why he's going to sound 10 times better than me. But alas, we're here and we're going to talk about it. JP, first off, man, what did you think of the episode overall?
I thought it was all right, man. Dwight's definitely not my favorite character. His storylines, him and Althea, their storylines definitely like get the bottom of my list as far as the characters go. But it was okay. It was all right, you know.
It's not season 5 bad.
No, God, no. Nothing has been as of yet.
Well, what's sad too is like it's just like the whole Sherry thing, man. I mean, who could have predicted I mean that sarcastically, like, oh, he found Sherry. Oh no, 1 episode later or 2 episodes later, and they're like apart again.
Yeah, man, Sherry's just not a good girlfriend or wife or whatever she is to him, you know. I mean, she jets and now she's, hooked up with them. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's banging like that dude that like he meets the first time in the pool and he jumps on top of. I mean, why else would she be such a bitch, you know?
Well, that was so stupid too, and she was with them, and like I don't know, just the way they kidnapped. I mean, isn't there an easier way to tell him about that?
Yeah, that seemed really unnecessary.
I'm telling you, I'm liking the new Morgan. The only thing is like, so does putting on a cowboy hat automatically teach you how to wrangle people? Oh,
absolutely, dude, absolutely.
That was my only thing. I'm like, look, I get it, right? Morgan's a badass. He's one of my favorite characters on this show. Now that he's changed up a little bit, but I mean, when did he learn how to ram? I mean, isn't that something that cowboys spend a long time perfecting, like how to lasso and wrangle animals and stuff? And like Morgan just is like, I put on a cowboy hat, I become Cowboy Morgan.
I have a feeling there's going to be a flashback where like Eastman spent like a couple days teaching him how to do that. We just hadn't seen it yet.
Oh, man.
It's just, now that you've learned the staff work, it's time to learn to lasso, to ride and lasso.
In case you ever want to become a cowboy.
Exactly. He said this is another non-lethal deterrent. You just lasso them, hog tie them, and drag them behind your steed.
And the thing with Dwight, too, it was kind of pissing me off because I get it. He wants to keep Sherry, and his thought is if he doesn't help them, then he's going to lose Sherry, and Sherry matters more than those people. But, like, he just straight up was, I mean, like, if you mess this up, your people are going to die. And Morgan tried to tell you that this was not going to work out at all. And, Dwight just, man, he gets his wife back, and he's just like, to hell with all my friends.
Oh, yeah, man. He is pussy whipped some kind of bad.
I was like, Jesus, Dwight.
Yeah.
And this group of people don't seem like they really know what the hell they're doing either. Like Virginia's outcasts. It was the whole mass thing for me was kind of stupid. I mean, I get it. They don't want their faces seen, whatever. But I mean, I don't know. And then I get where they're coming from with Sherry. Like, this is reminding her a lot of Negan.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wanting to put an end to it, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just not really, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm not really on Sherry's side with this.
Yeah. And I feel like there's that group of outcasts. Like, I mean, I don't really see Ginny being the type to just, banish you. I feel like she would, tie you up to a tree and let walkers eat you,
Yeah.
Like
well, they said that some of them Ginny had tried to kill, but they got away. But others were banished. But I mean, has Ginny got a lock so bad? I mean, these people do a lot without Ginny seeing. Are they really trying to say there's not a way they can sneak like a couple states over and get away from her?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of my thing. It's like, dude, I mean, why? I mean, does she have a lock on like every road out? And if she might, and you got to realize too, for those that might be new to this channel, Season 5 bored us so much that we barely reviewed it. Like we tried to, and half the time we just couldn't focus on the show. It was so boring. So there probably are some key plot points I need to go back and rewatch. But the thought of going back and rewatching season 5 just makes me. I don't want to do it.
I'm not gonna do it, but
it is a delight though. I went back and in the process of rewatching season 1 of The Mandalorian, so I can start. I just want to make sure I remember everything before I go to season 2.
Yeah, I'm halfway through the second episode. I had to stop, but
just like The Mandalorian, I like how they're trying to make some of these episodes like westerns. Though, Did you get like a western vibe when they were chasing down it was kind of like a stagecoach?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did. There was some really good stuff in this episode. I think it would have been a good episode in my opinion. Kill me if you want, but I think they should have killed off Dwight, and Sherry felt real bad, and went off with Morgan and them to figure out a smart way to kill Jinya. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not super invested in Dwight, and why not just kill him off randomly? I think it would have kind of given the show that edge back,
Well, that's something I thought about. It's funny you say that because I don't necessarily know if I thought about killing Dwight, but I definitely thought watching this and then watching the horrifically awful episode of The World Beyond. Like that's what's killing the show is like it used to be a very bleak feel to the show. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it just felt like there was no hope. When you go back to the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead, I mean, even if Rick came out on top, like killing those guys in the bar, it still felt dark.
Yeah.
Like that there wasn't a hopeful ending. It was losing. It just had this very bleak kind of like everything's not going to be okay feel to it. And in Fear and The World Beyond, and then some of the new Walking Dead, it's like they're trying too hard to make it hopeful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Which we could go back to, like you said, I mean, have Dwight, like while he was trying to steal that truck, had the guy just open that hatch up and just blasted his ass. Or
I mean, I would have liked to have seen just their plan got Dwight and all the other outcasts or whatever they're called killed, and Sherry's just like, well, I guess I should have listened to Morgan, and now she's got no choice but to go along with them and to, get in on their plan or whatever. But, of course, nothing like that happened. She just had an emotional moment with Dwight when he stopped her from opening up fire and blah, 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 blah.
Which, I mean, he was right to do because, these people that she's dealing with are stupid because it's like, you could still take them out. And it's like, and how do you you think Jenny's not going to notice when Dwight calls them out and they all don't return?
Yeah, I mean, you totally lose your element of surprise.
And he gave them a little. It's just these people are. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them. And then the whole, and then what would like Dwight leaves and lets their dog go.
Yeah, be free.
Like what a douche! Like I'm gonna head out, but first I'm gonna let your dog go.
Yeah, you are no longer a weapon of interrogation. You're free, dog.
Yeah, I like Dwight a lot better than I used to, but also I'm kind of like you. Like Dwight for me is a good secondary character. He's not a good like lead an episode character.
Yeah, well, it's like I've been saying, man. They need to trim the fat off of this cast. I think he is definitely one I could live without. Him and the trucker woman. I'd rather see him go than like Alicia or Daniel or someone like that.
Dear God, did you see the previews for next week's episode?
Yeah, I saw the trucker lady.
Trucker lady is back. We dislike her so much we won't even speak her name.
Yeah, well, I don't remember her name for one thing, but yeah, dude, I vaguely remember seeing her in something else. And
she has got to be one of the worst characters in any in any Walking Dead show ever.
Yeah, man, they really need to trim the cast down and just focus on like a tight core group,
Well, and that's the thing, man, is like back in the day, The Walking Dead was just notorious for like taking out characters with no warning, and now we get to the point where it's like the writers get too attached to these characters and refuse to, like you said, there should have been some real consequence to the actions last night.
Yeah, something should have happened.
Maybe Sherry should have pulled that trigger, or pulled that thing that would have pulled the triggers, and then there should have been some consequence. Maybe it would have gotten all her people killed, or like you said, got Dwight killed. And the show's just kind of the Walking Dead universe is just kind of missing that anyone can die at any moment. I mean, I just remember like when Herschel got bit back in season 3 of The Walking Dead, just thinking, oh my God, this show is ruthless.
Right.
And then thank goodness he lived, and it was cool because we hadn't seen anyone get a limb chopped off at that time. So even though he lived, it just had you like holding your breath, and it's like, then T-Dog died and Lori died in the same freaking episode. And you're like, what the hell? And it was just what we loved about the show. And now, like you said, there's just all these characters. And then, like June, kill June. I don't dislike June, but like you said, I could live without June.
Yeah.
Dwight or Sherry, I don't know, man. I don't know. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a bad episode. I wasn't bored. I wasn't, like last season we talked about the biggest problem we both had was we try to watch the episodes, but next thing you know, you're on your phone scrolling through YouTube or Facebook because you're just bored out of your skull.
Yeah, man. I mean, there was definitely some good stuff in this episode. Like you were saying, like the stagecoach kind of robbery thing, that was cool. And even though it was a little ridiculous, like seeing Morgan ride up, dragging old boy behind him, that was cool. I mean, yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but
what if we find out that hat's got powers and like whoever wields it becomes Cowboy Morgan?
Kind of like Frosty the Snowman's hat.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Like Morgan's in a fight and somebody knocks it off his head and he's like, oh, Lord, now I don't know how. I was going to lasso you, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
I was really hoping to see a fight between Dwight and Morgan.
Oh, dude, Morgan would have whooped his ass.
Oh, absolutely. But I kind of wanted that. Like I wanted high tension, because I love that Morgan and Al were trying to like sabotage him or whatever. Like stop him from doing it. And then he's like, I knew you would do something like this. And it's like, do something about it, boy. I tell you what, Dwight needs to eat a sandwich.
He's looking a little thin in the skin, ain't he?
Which, to be honest with you, though, it makes sense, though. I mean, like, that's one thing I love about the remaining. It's a book series I've bragged about forever. If you like zombie stuff with a little bit of like military style storytelling, then you'll probably really like it. But it's one of my favorite zombie series ever. And, in that, the writer makes sure to mention how, like, the main character, his name is Lee, how, like, throughout the series, you just hear how he puts on his pants and how they fit too loose, how his shirts are fitting loose. Because, I mean, you got to think, especially living on the road the way they are, you probably would be getting skinnier.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like Sherry's looking way too hot to be basically living the life of a homeless person,
Yeah.
I mean, she looked like she was ready for a freaking, like, photo shoot or something.
Yeah. I mean, she's just gorgeous as it is, though. I think she's very attractive.
Oh, yeah, man, yeah.
I've often wondered, like, what her and Dwight were like before the apocalypse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know, man. I enjoyed it. I'm really, though, the one thing I wish they would quit doing is breaking these episodes off and to focus in. I mean, I do like that Morgan shows up in each one of them pretty much at some point. He's kind of like he shows up every episode, but like, I just hate that it's like, all right, this week it's Dwight and Sherry. Next week it looks like it's going to be John. Luciana's coming back.
Oh, that's good.
Forgot all about her up to this point.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. Like, I mean, Alicia's been in maybe one episode. We haven't seen Luciana at all. I mean,
that's another thing too. Wasn't Morgan teaching Alicia like the way of the stick?
I think so.
And then like we haven't really seen her do much with sticks since.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like just the last half of season 4 and then season 5 were all over the place.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's just been awful. But I feel like they're getting back on track. This episode was a little bit of a speed bump. But, I mean, just if they had to kill Dwight, man, I feel like it would have been as powerful as the episode where Nick died, Like, just out of nowhere, you don't see it coming, bam, he's dead. Sherry's living with the repercussions, all this stuff.
I mean, because we've not lost anybody. I mean, like we know Ginny's a threat, but at the same time, I mean, nobody in our groups have died.
Yeah, I mean, they hadn't had it like super bad. I mean, I'd rather live under Ginny than Negan. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jenny's tyrannical, but at the end of the day, I mean, you still get a job, a home. I mean, you know, Negan was having people live in a factory floor.
Right.
And like, you know, Jenny definitely, I mean, she's conniving and she's evil, but at the same time, I don't think she's as bad as Negan was.
Nah, man. I definitely don't think so. I mean, I still think it's kind of stupid, her whole thing where, you know, I'm going to separate you from your sweetheart so I can have leverage on you and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I get that with like the core group because she didn't, you know, want Morgan and company like conspiring against her, but I don't know.
Well, and then now, now she's going against her whole thing because Strand just kind of seems to go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
John's got June back, which is terrible because, as we've said many times, I love John and I like June. I just get tired of I don't care about their relationship. You know what I mean? Like I just don't really give a shit about it.
Yeah, man. Strand, he moved up the ranks pretty quick. All he had to do was kill a garage full of syrupy zombies.
Yeah, you're the secret weapon, Victor.
Yeah. Those zombies were so sticky, I didn't think anyone would ever be able to take them out.
Get why I didn't just open the door, step back, and mow them down.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that far into the game of the zombie apocalypse, they would have been like, all right, well, you know, let them loose and just, you know, take them out one by one or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was.
But they're so sticky, it'll never work. They're so damn sticky.
They're so sticky.
Jesus Christ.
You had the sticky bandits in Home Alone. You got the sticky walkers and Fear the Walking Dead. Oh. But yeah, it was overall, it was a good episode. I'm anxious. I really, like, I'm hopeful for next week's episode, but part of me feels like it's just going to be I don't know, man. I don't have high hopes for next week's episode for some reason. There's something in those previews, and I could be wrong. It could be a badass episode, but and I think it's because it looks like it's going to be a good episode, and that's why I'm like, I don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, man. I'm just hopeful they kill the Momo, the trucker lady. Well, she's not Momo. She calls someone Momo.
That's pretty much what we should call her, though, because that's all I know her as is the girl that gives people stupid nicknames.
Yeah.
Like, if I have to hear her go, is that you, Momo?
God in heaven.
Like, I do not like her. I don't like her one bit. I mean, and I I don't want to say it's the actress's fault. It's the character that really gets on my damn nerves. Now, a lot of times in the show, I don't really blame the actors because everybody they pick are good actors. Now, I'm not going to lie, and I'm going to say it. The World Beyond, I am not a fan of Iris. Not a fan of her at all. Her and Silas, I don't think either of them are that good actors. So I don't know if it's their characters or their acting, but not – I say that as someone who can't act worth a damn himself, clearly, but other than that, most of the time in the show, I don't blame the actors. I think most of the actors they get on these shows are fantastic. I think it's just the writing they have to deal with.
Yeah, dude, I just wish I could like sit in the writer's room and just try to get some kind of justification for where they're coming up with these ideas and who thinks they're good and who thinks people want to watch that mess.
Is that you, Momo? And what you call that beer guy? It was like Jimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo.
I mean, it's just like she couldn't have been written more stereotypical of like a Smokey and the Bandit, like back in the day, convoy trucker. Because I remember one episode they played Convoy, and you've known for a long time that along with Red Sovine's Teddy Bear are two of my most hated songs of all freaking time.
Yeah.
And it was just so cliche. It's like she's already a cliche trucker that pretty much don't exist anymore. Or if they ever really existed. Let's just throw Convoy on there on top of that.
Yeah, she's almost like a trucker cosplayer, you know?
Yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked if we find out she never was a trucker. That's the only way they could redeem her character for me is if they had her straight up drop the act and go, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've never driven a truck before the apocalypse. I just really tried to act the way I think a trucker would.
I'm actually a character actor from San Bernardino, and I'm just really into this role, the world ended. We were in the middle of an independent film, and it just consumed me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Momo. I mean, Morgan. There I go again, being stuck in character.
Yeah.
Oh, it gets on my nerves, but what can you do?
Yeah,
but,
dude.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm just saying I'm trying not to, hate the show, but she makes it hard sometimes because the show's, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, and then they bring her back into it.
Yeah.
What happened to her wheelchaired friend? We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. That I don't know.
These masks people, do you see them being big players in the war against Ginny, or are they just going to be bodies to hit the ground when the fighting starts?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be sacrificial lambs, more or less.
As long as Momo don't die.
Yeah, let's hope not.
But so what do you want to rate this episode? I can't see you, so we're just gonna say it. Give me your rating for this episode.
I'll give it like I don't know if I want to give it a 2 or a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Now remember, our ratings are up to 5, so that's not a 2 or 3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it a 3. I think that's really generous, but I mean there was some good stuff with Morgan. The stealing back the SWAT van was a really cool sequence. So with that considered, I'll give it a 3.
I'm glad they finally got it back.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, that was like Al's coolest thing, and
I know.
Then they just took. Now, is Al going to get it back, or is it staying with the mask people?
That's a good question.
Instead of Devil's rejects, are they Ginny's rejects?
I don't know. I'm rejecting them.
Oh man. Well, I guess that's gonna wrap it up. I mean, I'm sure there's more we could get into, but I just don't really feel like there's that much in this episode to really dive into.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But yeah, so be sure to check out our Walking Dead World Beyond review, which will be up today as well. Spoiler alert, it sucked.
Yeah, I haven't even watched the episode, so Justin's just going to kind of walk me through it, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yep. I'm going to explain it in very vague terms, too. It's going to be interesting. But check that out. And if you like podcasts and you like The Walking Dead, check out our channel. We podcast about The Walking Dead episode by episode, Fear the Walking Dead episode by episode, and The World Beyond episode by episode. And I got our Walking Dead What Ifs uploaded. And normally they come out on Friday, but I was a little under the weather this weekend, so it didn't actually come out until Saturday or Sunday, one of those 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I got it loaded up. So it was a day late, but hey, better late than never.
It's true.
We talk about what ifs, such as what if, I think this one, the main point we talked about was what if Rick never woke up from his coma? How would things have played out for our merry band of misfits?
Yeah, we also had a great, I forget who laid it down, but a really, really awesome scenario where Shane basically becomes Negan and Carl is his lieutenant. It was wild.
Yeah, some good fan fiction for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out, and we'll see you soon. I'm Justin.
I'm JP.
And we're the Podcasting Dead.
Peace.